lecture on job analysis and design. And after the lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the concept job description, discuss about job specification, describe the meaning, steps, and benefits of job design, explain the role of job analysis, define the concept of job design. Let's now take a look at job analysis and design. Job analysis and design is a process of collecting, analyzing, and setting out information about the content of jobs in order to provide the basis for a job description and data for recruitment, training, job evaluation, and performance management. Job analysis and design is a field of study that determines the level of need, the worth, and the capacities needed when a new type of work needs to be performed, and description of the tasks must be made available for purposes of hiring. It also occurs when changes to working conditions come up, when resources change, or when said job descriptions chide away from the original definition. The job specification is more sophisticated and detailed. This is the in-between the lines that all potential employees must analyze prior to applying for any job.
Identifying the essential duties and responsibilities of each job provides the basis for the job description document. What are the specific duties for each job? What are the performance standards? What are the working conditions? What machine and equipment are being used on the job? The job specification describes the minimum qualifications of the individual performing the jobs. What is the educational level required by the individual performing those jobs? Does the individual require a specific skill? Does the individual require, for example, conversational fluency in Spanish? Must they have working knowledge of spreadsheet software, such as Excel? Job analysis is the cornerstone for all of HR. The job description and the job specifications provides, for example, recruiters with the essentials for marketing the organization's jobs and establishing the qualified pool of candidates. For example, the job requires a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. Any applicant with less than these qualifications is not a qualified candidate. If the individual has a master's degree in electrical engineering, then they exceed the minimum qualifications and remain in the pool. Additionally, these documents establish the criteria for selecting individuals with the best qualifications. If an individual is selected without the minimum qualifications, then the company may face a legal issue. Additionally, these documents provide a guideline for training and for assessing an individual's performance on the job. These documents also provide the basis for establishing the wages upon which the individual will be paid. For example, the compensation for coal miners is based on the hazardous working conditions that they must face in the performance of their work. Job descriptions and job specifications form the basis for contract negotiations with organized labor. Employers need to know the essential duties of each job in order to make decisions about providing reasonable accommodations under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So how do you go about conducting the job analysis? The job analysis will require an analyst to gather information from the current employees, supervisors, and managers. It is incumbent on the HR to inform the employees about the reasons for the job analysis and how the information will be used by the organization. One way to gather information from a large group of individuals is through a questionnaire. Another method is to observe the current employee performing the job. I once videotaped the operation of a bookbinding machine with a crew of 5 through the complete cycle of setup, production, and cleanup. A third method is to have employees keep a journal of their activities for a period of time. This could be combined with any other journals that the employee must maintain as part of their normal job duties. For example, at the printing company where I worked, the pressmen were required to maintain a log of the press operations throughout their shift. This log listed problems, solutions, and general notes about the operation of the press and the crew. Finally, The analyst could interview the incumbent, supervisors, and managers to gain an understanding from the three different levels about the work that is being done.
Let's now have a look at job description. Job description is a functional description of the contents and context of the job. Job description narrates the various features and contents of a job. It is a written statement that identifies, describes, and defines a job's duties, responsibilities, working conditions, etc. Job description discloses what an incumbent is supposed to do and how the task is to be done. The data to be included in the job description statement is usually determined by the job analyst to make the document more reliable and informative. Contents of job description statement. Job title. It explains the title of the job. It means what the particular job is all about is identified under this content. Job location. This refers to the name of the department where the job under consideration exists in the organization. Duties. This refers to the task performed by an employee. It is necessary to mention the task of the employee because it helps him or her to estimate the percentage of time that is devoted to the performance. Machines, tools, and equipment. They are used by an incumbent for the performances of tasks and are included under this head. Working environment. The working environment is concerned with the actual workplace. It defines working condition in terms of heat, lighting, noise level, etc. Purpose of job description. The main purpose of job description is to collect job-related data in order to advertise for a particular job. It helps in attracting, targeting, recruiting, and selecting the right candidate for the right job. It is done to determine what needs to be delivered in a particular job. It also clarifies what employees are supposed to do if selected for that particular job opening. Here we will discuss about job specification. A job specification describes the knowledge, skills, education, experience, and abilities one believes that are essential to performing a particular job. The job specification is developed from the job analysis. A job specification cuts to the quick with the requirements, whereas the job description defines the duties and requirements of an employee's job in detail. The job specification provides detailed characteristics, knowledge, education, skills, and experience needed to perform the job with an overview of the specific job requirements. Job specification translates the job description into human qualifications so that a job can be performed in a better manner. Job specification helps in hiring an appropriate person for an appropriate position. Components of a job specification. Experience. Number of years of experience in the job one is seeking to fill. Number of years of work experience required for the selected candidate. Note whether the position requires progressively more complex and responsible experience and supervisory or managerial experience. Education. It states what degrees, training, or certifications are required for the position. Required skills, knowledge, and characteristics. It states the skills, knowledge, and personal characteristics of individuals who have successfully performed this job. Your recruiting, planning, meeting, or email participants can also help determine these requirements for the job specification. Purpose of job specification. Job description and job specification are two integral parts of job analysis. They define a job fully and guide both employer and employee on how to go about the whole process of recruitment and selection. Job specification helps candidates analyze whether they are eligible to apply for a particular job, vacancy, or not. Job specification gives detailed information about any job, including job responsibilities, desired technical and physical skills, conversational ability, and much more. Let's now get to know about job design, steps, and its benefits. Job design follows job analysis. Example, it is the next step after job analysis. It aims at outlining and organizing tasks, duties, and responsibilities into a single unit of work for the achievement of certain objectives. It also outlines the methods and relationships that are essential for the success of a certain job. Job design essentially involves integrating job responsibilities or content and certain qualifications that are required to perform the same. It outlines the job responsibilities very clearly and also helps in attracting the right candidates to the right job. Let's now take a look at benefits of job design. Employee input. A good job design enables a good job feedback. Employees have the option to vary tasks as per their personal and social needs, habits, and circumstances in the workplace. Employee training. Training is an integral part of job design. Contrary to the philosophy of leave them alone, job design lays due emphasis on training people so that they are well aware of what their job demands and how it is to be done. Work-rest schedules. Job design offers good work and rest schedules by clearly defining the number of hours an individual has to spend in his or her job. Adjustments. A good job design allows for adjustments for physically demanding jobs by minimizing the energy spent doing the job and by aligning the manpower requirements for the same. Let's now have a look at approaches to job design. Human approach. The human approach of job design laid emphasis on designing a job around the people or employees and not around the organizational processes. According to this approach, jobs should gratify an individual's need for recognition, respect, growth, and responsibility. Engineering approach. According to this approach, the work or task of each employee is planned by the management a day in advance. The instructions for the same are sent to each employee describing the tasks to be undertaken in detail. The details include things like what, how, and when of the task, along with the time deadlines. The approach is based on the application of scientific principles to job design. Work, according to this approach, should be scientifically analyzed and fragmented into logical tasks. The job characteristics approach. According to this approach, there is a direct relationship between job satisfaction and rewards. They said that employees will be their productive best and committed when they are rewarded appropriately for their work. They laid down 5 core dimensions that can be used to describe any job: skill, variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. Let's now get to know about the issues in job design. Telecommuting, work from home. Telecommuting or work from home is considered as the best alternative of working from the actual office. It eliminates the need of coming to the office every day and offers employees the convenience to work in the comfort of their own home. It allows employees to stay at home and manage their job tasks and functions without actually being present in the office, but it does not allow them to communicate with other employees and establishing relationships with them. They only deal with machines the whole day, thus lose creativity. Job sharing. It is the second most preferable alternative of traditional working styles where 2 or more individuals share the responsibilities of a full-time job. They divide the tasks, responsibilities, and compensation according to their mutual consent. These days, Organizations are open to this kind of working style where two or more individuals can share a job. Flexi working hours. These days, organizations allow their employees to work according to the timings that suit them best. This is good for those individuals who have colleges or some other engagements during the day or specific hours of the day. The best part is that unlike telecommuting, flexi timings give them a chance to communicate with other employees too. Alternative work patterns. Companies these days allow their employees to work on alternate months or seasons. According to the latest concept, employees can work for a fixed number of hours and then can attend to their personal needs during the rest of the days. Techno-stress. It is the latest technology to keep a check on employees' performance even when they choose to work from home. Because of the introduction of new machines, their performance can be electronically monitored even when they are not aware of it. Task revision. Task revision is nothing but modification of existing work design by reducing or adding the new job duties and responsibilities to a specific job. Let's now understand about factors affecting job design. Organizational factors. Organizational factors that affect job design can be work nature or characteristics, workflow, organizational practices, and ergonomics. Work nature. There are various elements of a job, and job design is required to classify various tasks into a job or a coherent set of jobs. The various tasks may be planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, etc. And all these are to be taken into consideration while designing a job. Ergonomics. Ergonomics aims at designing jobs in such a way that the physical abilities and individual traits of employees are taken into consideration so as to ensure efficiency and productivity. Workflow. Product and service type often determines the sequence of workflow. A balance is required between various product or service processes, and a job design ensures this. Culture. Organizational culture determines the way tasks are carried out at the workplaces. Practices are methods or standards laid out for carrying out a certain task. These practices often affect the job design, especially when the practices are not aligned to the interests of the unions. Environmental factors. Environmental factors affect the job design to a considerable extent. These factors include both the internal as well as the external factors. They include factors like employee skills and abilities, their availability, and their socioeconomic and cultural prospects. Behavioral factors. Behavioral factors, or human factors, are those that pertain to the human need and that need to be satisfied for ensuring productivity at the workplace. They include the elements like autonomy, diversity, feedback, etc. Autonomy. Employees should work in an open environment rather than one that contains fear. It promotes creativity, independence, and leads to increased efficiency. Feedback. Feedback should be an integral part of work. Each employee should receive proper feedback about his or her work performance. Diversity. Repetitive jobs often make work monotonous, which leads to boredom. A job should carry sufficient diversity and variety so that it remains as interesting with every passing day. Job variety, diversity, should be given due importance while designing a job. Use of skills and abilities. Jobs should be employee rather than process-centered, though due emphasis needs to be given to the latter, but jobs should be designed in a manner such that an employee is able to make full use of his abilities and perform the job effectively. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Job analysis and design is a field of study that determines the level of need, the worth, and the capacities needed when a new type of work needs to be performed, and a description of the tasks must be made available for purposes of hiring. Job analysis is the process of determining the essential characteristics that are necessary to perform job effectively. Job enlargement is the process of increasing the scope of a job by adding more tasks to it. Job enrichment involves designing a job in such a way that it provides the worker greater autonomy for planning and controlling his or her own performance. Job rotation implies the shifting of an employee from one job to another without any change in the jobs.